We're back, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back. Oh, you know, I'm supposed to be talking in this accent again. Dan, I just messaged you. So, for those of you that don't know, we're going to be working on our online talking dictionary, and Dan's going to be helping on Discord today. So, also Dan, you're streaming this right now, right? Aha, you are streaming it. Great. All right. Check out Dan, who's also streaming right now. Double streaming. Alright, so let me see if we can work this out. I'm going to turn off the music though, because it's a bit distracting and I don't know if I can listen to music and Dan. Okay, let's see if we can get a voice call working. Milk, aren't you supposed to be in class?
Hello.
Hey, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Twice.
Oh, well,
But
you better mute me on one of those.
I just have to turn off your stream audio. Got it.
Milk, Dark Synergy, can you hear Dan? Wait, try talking, Dan.
They? Counting 1, 2, 3.
Ah, they can hear you. Great. Okay. Alright, let me just get out of Tailwind. We are still where we just were. And I am talking like this for only 9 more minutes, just so you know.
That assumes someone else is not going to swoop into your channel and redeem another
We'll see.
bargain price 30 minutes of British accent.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, wait a second. Let me just get all the things open again, because they are not open. Okay. We were in all... Did you see? I made this an issue in what's it called? GitHub. I felt very fancy. Okay. So we're going to do live server. Wait, not live server. Live share.
Live share.
Okay. Here you go. Sorry, there's an exclamation point at the beginning of that. And then I can share it with the rest of you if you want. This is Dan. Dark Synergy. It's Dan. Who's also streaming. Same thing. Right now. Okay, let me open up just in case a... What's it called? Browser window. Okay, so basically where we were at last time, if I can find it, is we were in one of the controllers, entry controller, and what we were trying to do is we were trying to get, we were getting all the information we wanted from the database with a Mongo method, but the audio which is stored in Cloudinary we weren't able to get. So that's where we're at. And it is an entry controller JS around 62, line 62. So I think we wanted to know what to put at the end of this download URL, like what parameter, is that what we call it? So
yeah, we were having trouble with what this download URL should be.
right.
I wanted to double check and see what exactly we're getting from the request object on line 62. Like, what are we getting from your front end?
All right. I think uh, I think you're only read only, aren't you? Or are you more than that? Oh no, you can edit. Okay. I don't know that you can
Looks like I
run
can
the
edit.
what's it called? The terminal though.
Uh, Probably not unless you make it writable, but that's okay. You don't have to do that.
Okay. Ah, I see milk. I don't see. Oh, I do see the redeem. Well, that we can do it on a break though.
Is it possible I could make a like a markdown file to write some notes?
In the whole project,
Yeah, let me see if it lets
probably.
me do that.
Yeah, try it. Blood, we are currently trying to fix our update entry request in our online talking dictionary. Right now, we're getting all this information from Mongo. It's cool and stuff, but we're not getting the audio. So we're trying to get the audio, and it's supposed to come from Cloudinary. Wait, what do you mean? How did you mess with it? Okay. Did it work for you, Dan?
Yeah, I was able to create the markdown file, troubles.md.
Ah, I see. Right, I gotta put an eye drops really quick. Okay.
If we run this normally, what is the current error message we're getting, if any?
We can try that. So, localhost. Blood, feel free to tell us what you came up with. Okay, so we have our HDF. Cool. Edit entry. And then, so that actually didn't have any problems. So normally the problem would have been right there when I just tried to open up this page. Can you?
Okay.
I'm not sure about live share. Can you get to this page?
I have your stream open. I can see you with a little bit of a delay,
Ah, but
talking about the edit page.
you can't open like localhost 8000, right?
Oh, let me see. Um, let's see here. Live share. There's a shared terminal, but there's no shared servers on the live share tab in VS Code.
All right, wait a second. Let me see. Share server. There we go. Now try.
Okay, localhost 8000. And if I go there, wow, it works.
Great. All right, so then if you go to, if you look up ASDF and you go to whatever entry and you try to edit entry, that's where it would have the problems once you click on that button. It's not having the problem though, so there's no error for now. Um, but it
But it's
is
not actually, if you edit just the name or the
so
translation, it doesn't do it.
so two different things there. We were trying to do that before, and that in the file is, well, wait a second. Okay, wrong. We're in the wrong place. Sorry. I think it should be update input page that we're actually at on line 39. And then the second one is the update everything part. Because we started with the second one and then we went to the first. So before, when we were updating everything, it only worked when we uploaded a new audio file each time. So someone was like, well, if we, in the original GET request, if we get the audio, maybe that will work out better for us. Born, go to
Yeah, if you
class.
have to
Sorry.
yeah, if you have to update all the fields, then you would need the like existing audio URL to send back into it. I'm
Right.
still catching up here with the difference between update input page and update entry.
Yeah, sorry, I got a bit confused. Born, aren't you supposed to be working on projects today in class? I'm looking at OOP. I need to learn more about that, honestly. So, we got our rect up.
Oh, this is
What?
update input page returns the HTML for the edit page, and then update entry is the API that will update the MongoDB
Okay.
document.
Wait, so you're saying we can't do one without the other? Like, should we just be working on the update entry? Is that what it is? Update, yeah, update
I think
entry.
so, because I think update input page works because it renders the HTML for our form and it puts all the information in there. So that looks like it's working correctly, right? So that on line 50, this render response render edit word EJS.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that's the template for this page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is, as far as I know, working correctly.
Okay, my accent is now gone. So it is working correctly, but like it's still not getting the Cloudinary audio, which it's getting all the other information because this is a Mongo method, but I don't know.
Okay. So this data for this result.data should have the URL in it.
So if we like console log data,
Yeah, if we console log data, we could investigate. It should show all the data on that object from MongoDB.
okay, so we would maybe console log data where this request is.
Yes. I don't know what that was.
It was just we were just trying to mess around with it last time. It wasn't doing
Okay.
anything. Let's try that.
And I would expect this to show up in the terminal because this is server side code.
Right. So we have our this is the number. So it looks like we're getting it, but it's not like populating in the form.
What is why is it only a number? Is that how it's stored in Cloudinary?
I think so. Let me look it up really quick. Cloudinary. Um Sorry, I would show Cloudinary on screen, but they like put like the cloud name and everything on the screen. It's very irritating.
What is Mongoose?
It's like I don't know, like more fancy Mongo. I knew the answer to that question once upon a time. Slightly different methods. Yeah, I can't say beyond that.
That's fine. It looks like I'm in a file called entry.js, and it looks like you have a schema here that's typed out the
Oh, it's a Mongoose
the kind
schema,
of
right?
data you're going to get.
Ah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's Mongoose allows for schemas. MongoDB doesn't.
Okay.
So, yeah, it looks like, wait a second. So, like, for example, this is one of, I'll put it in the stream chat. This is one of, like, the IDs for a Cloudinary object sort of file. And I can't tell if that's,
Yeah.
like, I think that's slightly longer than what we're getting, or maybe it's almost the same. I'm not sure.
It looked yeah, it looked like it's the same.
But when I search it up in the database, it's like this one, it's not showing up. Born, that number is the ID number of an audio file in Cloudinary.
Yeah. Are you able to browse your Cloudinary through the browser?
Yes. Wait, I can try and show it on my screen. Let me just be careful not to show my cloud name. Oof. Okay, there you go. Thank you for doing that, Windows 11. So if you see it, like, this is what it looks like right now. This is what I can see.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I can see it.
when I looked for the number that we're getting back, it's just not there. So that's interesting. All right, see you, Warren.
Hmm. The number you get back for this page is not there.
Yeah, which is weird. I can also look in Mongo, see if it's just like 100% from Mongo or something. What's it called? Mongo DB.
Well, thanks, Creekburn, for telling me, helping me out with what Mongoose is.
Ah, what did they say?
It's a wrapper around the MongoDB driver to make it easier to work with.
Okay. So if I look up that number, yeah, I think it's just from MongoDB. It's not the Cloudinary identity or ID number at all. So like if we look at it here, this is really small and this is being dumb, but um I found it. It's just under this one object or this one entry, but it's not, that's not the Cloudinary ID.
The object ID, the one on the top line there, that's the ID for the document in MongoDB, correct?
Yeah.
And then the audio input. So that still should correspond to the ID in the Cloudinary database, but you're saying it's not there. It's not present in Cloudinary.
Well, like this number isn't. It's a, I guess it's a Mongo number. But like we had over here, like these are different numbers. I'm not sure what determines them. Like it goes,
Okay.
I don't know.
Can we look up where when you create a new word where the audio files are initially uploaded to Cloudinary?
Wait, what do you mean? Like where they go once they're uploaded?
Yeah, I'm interested in knowing whether we are creating the document or the object ID for these audio files before we upload them to Cloudinary, or is Cloudinary automatically generating these numbers?
I think it's an automatic generation sort of thing because all like once you make the file, I don't know what happens in the terminal, but it just shows up in this folder. Hey, Bull. Milk, I forgot, but at
Yeah,
25
well,
minutes, I'm watching 25 minutes. We'll watch a parrot video. Sorry, I interrupted you, Dan.
that's okay. Just go ahead. Talk to chat. It's your stream. Um,
Who creates some blood? I look in the controller, blood says.
yeah, I'm in
Um,
entry controller JS. There's an add entry on
right,
line 120.
right. So we tell it to go to audio upload to give it new file name being the date and the time, maybe? Oh, it's the date, blood says. So the number is just like a generated date and time, then, it sounds like. And then we set the audio
Yeah.
input equal to that.
Comment. Okay. Um, okay. I would first look at getting the update to work for things that are without the audio ID property, right? So can we update other fields like phonetic input, grammatical input, translation input, and leave audio input alone?
So, yes, that we got that to work. We got it so we could like, well, I feel like I don't know actually. I feel like we got close to like updating entries sort of, but we had to upload a new audio file. But then I don't know if I'd ever changed anything in the database, so we messed with that a little bit, so I'm not sure if it works, the update entry part. But
Yeah, can we check?
yeah.
I just think this is the simpler thing to check as far as like how we would want to go through this in like process of elimination or in steps. Um,
Mm.
this is how I would kind of approach it. I don't know if I hit submit and I change like the IPA spelling, um,
What it will do.
it doesn't work for me, but I don't know if that's because of the way the remote host works or something else.
I think we broke it at some point, trying to change stuff up, and I can't remember exactly what we did. So if we look at the terminal right now, I think what's happening is it's like, hey, I don't know what's up with your audio. So like you were saying, if in the entry find one and update, if we just like comment out the audio, it will work. Maybe.
Yep. I think if we comment out the audio and then find one and update, hopefully this will work if this is how we can do an update with MongoDB, and it'll merge. It will not remove the audio input property, right? Is that my understanding? Or excuse me, is my understanding correct there?
I think so. Um, but
Okay.
also I'm generally confused with everything I'm doing here. So
That's all right.
commenting that out, it did give us an issue, and I think it is like the issue comes from still the audio because we have the whole thing contingent on finding the file, and once we find the file, then we do everything else. That's what it looks like. Basic blood.
Okay, because this is
Sorry.
all part of the Cloudinary uploader
Yeah, I think.
explicit callback.
Blood says biggest issue you've got is for the update. You need a field to match your object currently. Wait.
I have to open your chat to read. Hold on.
Also, hey Alperin, what's up? Um,
How about this? We could break this large, like on line 73, we start we await the async function Cloudinary uploader explicit, right?
hmm.
Um, we can break this up into updating the document and updating the file on Cloudinary in like 2 steps. So what if we pull out the async part on line 82? Um, and we can just update the document in Mongo first.
So wait, what would we be doing? We would just get rid of async, or what else would we be doing here? Wait a second. I have way too many things open right now.
So I think what we would do So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We can revert it if we need to. I'm going to cut and move the...
Ah, Dom, that's what that was. Dom, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it.
All right, so I just moved the entry find one and update.
Okay, but above the
And I'm going to...
Cloudinary uploader.
Yeah. And for the moment, let me comment out. I'm gonna add a console log up here.
Okay.
For requests. And put the request. Sorry, I'm just gonna type some stuff here.
You're fine.
Sorry, so for the moment, we're not gonna get anything with the file. All right, I just want to isolate stuff so we can get it working without the audio file and then add the logic for the audio file back in. So I'm going to move this up outside of the if statement here. The entry find one and update. And then I'm going to...
Okay.
I'm going to move this let file down here. And I'm going to comment it out for the moment. Because this whole part on line 89 now, oops. This is dependent on there being an audio file. And
Right.
so let's... I'm going to comment out this if statement just because...
That's problematic.
I think that is... Oh, did it cause problems?
No, I haven't done anything yet, so I don't know.
I do see a lot of red, but I think that's
I'm not exactly sure what that
the
is.
issue with the live share.
Yeah.
It might be just the live share, the difference. Okay, so I want to... having trouble just selecting this if statement. All right, oops. Okay.
Should we run it?
We can run it. Does this... this should return some response. What did it return?
Um,
Okay, response redirect entry added.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it should just redirect to the, like, hey, you did an entry or whatever.
And that's this entry added
EJS file?
property here on 110.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
is this find one and update an asynchronous function? Do we need to
I
put the dot then?
Hey Dom, thanks for the subscription. I'm not sure if it's async. I know it's like specifically tied to Mongo though. So I just did the request and it looks like we got the very long console log back, but it's still loading. It hasn't timed out yet.
Greek burn is saying it's going to be an asynchronous function or a promise based function.
Okay.
So then we can get let's just call it the result. So I'm on line 83 here. So, but I'm curious what this result is. Console log. Let's call it the Mongo result. Let's log that. Robodom. I am doing well. I hope you and Rufio are doing well as well.
It's streamception, Dom. Dan's streaming, I'm streaming each other.
Right. Although we haven't advanced to those fancy streams where they like show everybody's heads talking at the same time.
Right. I'm glad to hear that, Milk. Hey, Dan, do you mind if we watch a parrot video? Because Milk did redeem that. I'm sorry about that.
Go ahead, yeah.
And Milk, do you have a video you want to watch in particular? Who is streaming the stream? I don't know if there's an answer to that question. Wait, you do have one you want to watch, Milk? Which one is it? Oh. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. One of the classics. Oh, I'm so excited.
Entry added worked.
Oh, it did? Great.
Okay, but that's just, we'll come back to that after the important stuff gets watched.
Who's in your bathroom?
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Who's in there?
Second favorite parrot video of all time.
Say no, no.
I have to find your stream on this other computer that I'm sharing so that people can see the parrot video.
What was that?
I just hit the water thing.
What was that?
The water thing.
My hairbrush.
I just used the water thing. I just used the water. I just used the water.
It's a hairbrush.
I know. I know. I just put it low. I just put a drop in your line. I just took water. I just took water. I just took water down. I just put it low.
Just stick it under the door.
It's not loud. I just put it low.
There we go. Wait, Milk, have you seen me watch that on my stream before? And dumpsters because it was redeemed. Bull, do you watch Murder Mystery Makeup? I'm almost done with them. So good. Wait, so what did you do on your stream, Dan? You like streamceptioned?
Yeah, I tried to hack it real quick. I just opened up your stream in a browser on my laptop that I'm streaming, and I just moved it over. I don't think I had the sound right, but we got to see the parrot.
Milk, I didn't show that video to you and you knew it? That's fantastic. I love that video. I'll get loud. Okay. Now I'm going to start the timer this time because I forgot to start it last time.
Oh, it's good.
Okay. Hey, rats. So you said that it did update, right?
Yeah. So if we go to this word now, which
It's
might have been changed
ASDF.
to
Oh, Yas.
youth.
Or something.
Yas.
Well, maybe I need to look it up exactly.
Y quadruple O S S.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait. We're looking for the... It's not working, so that's not great. Unless we're looking for the wrong parameter. No, I don't know. So like it updated, but also like we can't
What does
search
this
for it.
field search for?
The main one?
Oh. If you do ASDF, it shows.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay. So we
So
didn't
this field,
change its meaning. Ah, right. Translation input. Okay. So it did work.
so that main search field, that main field
Uh-huh.
searches the translation.
Yes. No, no, it doesn't search the. Wait. Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Because people don't know the Paiute words.
Okay, makes sense. So if I
So
click edit entry, my shared browser here is not doing anything. Does yours?
what did you try and do?
I just tried to click the edit entry button. Oh wait, now it worked. Okay, sorry. Must have been just like a
That's
hiccup.
fine. That's fine. Yes.
Okay, so if you edit these fields now, when I did it, it worked. So if you change, word, phrase, or sentence and IPA spelling back to whatever they were or
Uh-huh.
whatever you'd like them, I believe the edit now works successfully.
Yeah, it looks like it. Like, yeah, it looks like it does. Did we add an audio file when we did that? Because it
No,
doesn't.
I removed the audio input code by commenting it out.
Right.
Not true.
But it.
And now that we know that the regular edit works, I think we can add it back in.
So what's interesting is that it. I just checked and it remembers the old audio. It didn't show that when it populated the form, but it is there. And that's really interesting.
Nice. Okay. It's not overriding that property in the MongoDB document. What's word?
But I think I
There
understand
you
what
go.
was happening. We just cut out all the Cloudinary stuff, and then it just did a pretty simple update.
Yeah, so we should then be able to say, I'm just gonna make some more notes. So editing the MongoDB record or document is working. So after commenting out the audio Cloudinary code, we've sort of narrowed down, or at least made sure that that part of our application is working.
Right.
So now we have a working state, and we can think about what's going on here. Okay, so I'm looking back at line 62 in entry controller JS on update entry.
Okay.
And were you able to see in the terminal like what it was logging for this request?
You don't have access to the
Oh, it's a lot
terminal?
it is. Hold on. I'm just trying to it only gives me like the bottom 4 lines.
Oh,
Or not
okay.
4
Sorry,
lines, like
I'll
8
stop
lines.
scrolling.
I'm scrolling up.
We're not working on the hamburger menu because that's a project that everyone in class is like, that's their project. This is for them because they don't understand what's happening here generally. So I feel like it's fair to do this when most of them can't watch it. Ah, I hear you, Dom. Never said menu. Do you need me to
Working on
scroll
it.
up or anything, Dan?
Oh no, so this is the whole request. That's probably too much information. Maybe we should.
Hey, Gabrielle, thanks for the follow.
Do
Blood.
you know the name of the framework for this backend AP these backend APIs?
I mean, I use Express. I don't know if that's a framework though.
Yes, that's perfect. If it's an express request object.
And Blood says EJS. That's for the HTML.
Nice. Okay, so the EJS should be the HTML, like the templating thing that mixes JavaScript and HTML. So if this is a express framework, which makes sense. So this is a express request object. Then if I go onto their docs at expressjs.com, I can look at the different properties on this request object.
Okay.
So I can see there's request.body, request.params, and request.query. So those are probably ones that we're interested in. So that's various ways we would send information from the front end to the back end.
Okay.
So let's see what those are. So this would be request body. And oops, I can duplicate this. So the request.query is an object with a property for each query string parameter in the route. Okay. And there's also a request.files. Is that right? I'm looking at the docs because I see
Yes.
request.files in here, but I'm not seeing such a thing in the Express docs.
I can't remember where we got rec.files. I think someone was helping me, and that's where we got it. Blood says that rec.body will show, but the others are empty. Oh, never mind. Those are the old object. Okay. So they should show stuff. Has this been the easiest coding I've done? No.
This is challenging. This is not some introductory coding problem.
I just wonder when I'll like get it eventually. Like be like, oh yeah, clearly just do X, Y, and Z. You know, it's like it's fine.
Well, if you went back and did stuff, if you did kind of the projects you first learned on, you would get those. So it's always new stuff.
Right.
And it always takes us a little longer than we would like to learn and understand stuff. And you're always running into little obstacles, like the syntax with this library is different than this other one. So it's also part of the process.
Right.
Which doesn't change the fact that it's really frustrating in the moment.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay, so if we run this, what do we get in the terminal?
And that would just be the like I was trying to edit the entry, right?
Yeah, we have to go back to the
Okay, I
edit
just did
page
it.
and submit the form.
I just did it.
Okay, so I'm seeing stuff. So we've got a body, a request.body. If you're looking at the terminal, with word input, phonetic input, grammatical translation, example, and current audio. And we have a parameters, which is the ID. So that's the Mongo document ID. So that's what's coming in through the URL, not the query parameters, but the part that's in like the actual URL before the query parameters. All right.
Wait, Bull, what's hack source? Hack source?
I don't know. Hackers. Hoodlums. Nefarious ne'er-do-wells that prowl the internet.
You can't say nothing, Bull. We're on to you.
Okay. So we want a way to know if they have sent new audio or if they're not updating the audio.
Your phantom thinks to follow. Okay.
I'm going to add console. Gosh, I'm trying to add console log request.files. But it's my key. It's not behaving well. Okay. Because we thought that was where. So if we include a file, a new audio file in that form, how is that information being sent to our API here? Like, where does that show up?
Okay.
Is the question I'm now trying to answer.
Okay. Also, Soren, thank you for the follow.
I'm gonna go look at the create. Where'd that go? Create entry or add entry.
Yeah, so basically a lot of the stuff we commented out was stuff I copied from this post request. And you can see that like the let file blah blah blah, that's all the same. Cuz I figured it would be like
Yeah.
the same mechanism.
Yeah, it should be, or very similar. Creekburn's asking, is the goal to upload a file directly from the web page? I believe so.
Like yes. Yeah, I think so. As opposed to what though?
I guess them to be already existing in a database somewhere, and then you just associate them in your data.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, you'd be uploading it.
Like if you were trying to reference like a video file that was already on YouTube, you would just have the URL and you wouldn't be dealing with the upload of the file directly.
Mm. Blood says that Cloudinary adds in the Cloudinary uploader, which means that the file whole bit isn't explicitly tied to Cloudinary, I guess. Hey Zara, thanks for the follow.
Yeah, so on 142, the Cloudinary uploader,
Hmm.
yeah, what I'm trying to, what's happening?
Blood wants to know
Yeah, is
what you're trying to find.
so on 136 and 139 here, we're getting this the audio file data itself and uploading it to Cloudinary. What worked before. So
Okay.
that's kind of what, and it looks like it's on the request files dot audio.
Okay.
Assuming add entries is working.
Which it is.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then request files audio. And if it's an array, the first one. If it's not an array, um, get the value of there, and then if the MIME type is audio or audio wave, then it goes through this process, which is similar to what we're doing. Sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time.
You're
It's like
fine.
interesting.
You're fine. Leon's shouting me out right now? For what? I mean, it's nice of Leon, but like, for what? Bull says that you're just an iguana useless in the Florida ecosystem. Also, what? Florida, though. Hey, Juana, thanks for the follow.
Chronogears saying saying some interesting stuff. Would normally be like a multi-part form data request, but we have a working example here.
So
which,
we did like Express File Uploader, I think, to do that, which was different than
okay.
the common. There's a different one that's commonly used, Molter. But I don't think that's exactly what
Okay.
you're talking about.
No, I'm trying to read or just understand what Creekburn was saying in my chat.
Oh, okay.
The other, yeah, I think it's being handled by the framework. um, okay, so let's start putting pieces back in. Um,
Okay.
so I'm going to be on line 92, and I would start to think like we would want to put this check for the audio file back in there. Uh-oh, is it not letting me uncomment this?
I don't know why it wouldn't, but there you go.
Okay. And then we can add our if statement back in.
Is it still not letting you?
Something's happened that's not letting me edit. Let's see here.
Wait, can you write anything, or did it like revoke your? It says currently
Oh,
editing.
I think I figured it out. Hold on. There we go. It was on my end. It was me.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna make a comment here above our entry find one and update.
Okay.
So this can be update without new audio file.
Okay.
And so we can start putting these audio checks above that. Is this, I think we want to close this if statement here, right? Oh, there.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Wait. No, I think that. Oh no. Yes. Yes. I see what you're saying. That took me a while.
Okay. Okay.
Blood. That's naughty. I told Leon I wouldn't, but I can push. I can be like, Leon, can you give us a little channel in the Discord? I can do that. And then Moody, I think I'm just under Hello It's Rufio as well. I haven't put anything up there, but I will. Hey, Intelligence, thanks for the follow.
You want to move the update without new audio chunk into the else statement of our if block?
Okay, wait a second. Say that one more time. I was distracted.
Sure. I put this, there's this comment on starting on line 75.
Right,
So
I
this
see
part
that.
we know works is the update when there's no new audio file.
Okay.
So we can put that in the else block of our if else statement.
Ah, within
You want to go ahead
the
and
with so the if part, maybe you're saying put it in the else part.
yeah, because I think the way it's written is if this file dot mime type includes one of these three strings. So we want to execute the part we know works if in the else block, right? So the first
Okay.
part will be like, hey, there's new audio, execute that code. And then the second part starting on 99 in the else block will be the other thing, the part we know works.
Okay. So then we just cut it and put it in there, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I probably should take the update without the new audio file part too. Oops.
Yeah. And we can add like a line console log. Oops. Console log. No audio in request.
Mm.
Updating MongoDB only.
Okay. So far it's saying if it doesn't have like updated audio, then run that. But if it does have the updated audio, right now all it's running is saying just give it a new file name.
Yeah, we haven't moved over all the parts yet.
Right.
So what I would do is I would make sure that this check where we get the, like on line 77, we're getting the file from this request files audio property. I want to make sure that that's working and it's entering the code block we want it to before we actually start putting in the parts where we're trying to call the Cloudinary uploader.
Okay.
So new audio found. Um, and if we want, we can just console log the new file name. So it's not, at least it's not yelling at me that there's an unused variable.
Right. No, it makes sense.
All right. So I just added the console log so that we know it's going to, that we can see if it's executing in either the if block or the else block. Does that make sense so far?
Yes. I think so.
Okay.
But if we run it right now, well, I mean,
Yeah, give it a shot.
we could run it right now and then try and attach new audio.
Yeah, let's run it. Let's run it without new audio, without a new audio file.
Okay.
So that we check that our cut paste stuff didn't do anything weird.
Uh-oh. I didn't like it.
Where do
It
I
doesn't like
see?
the rec.files.audio.
That is, yeah, but where does it just say app crashed?
It says cannot read properties of null of audio.
Okay.
And blood.
So that
Sorry.
I was looking for that string that you just read.
Oh. It should be right. It's just this part on 77. It doesn't like audio. And that's probably actually because, well, so on line 97, we have audio input. We have it set to new file name. that's commented out, and at one point I think it was like rec.body.audio or something. So maybe that's why it's having problems.
Okay. In the add entry area, I think we tried to log rec dot.
Files and
Oh, well, yeah, we are logging rec dot files. Well, we know we don't have a file. And we know that add entry uses rec.files.audio. So I
so
think we just need to write our code so that it'll handle it will handle audio not being there. So you said it was a type error, property cannot be found on null.
yes. Oh, it's gone now. Great.
Okay.
But that's what it said. It just said that it didn't like the rec.audio. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's the way we've probably written this check in line 77. So this is good. This assumes there's always going to be an audio file. And in some of our cases,
There
we
isn't.
probably won't. So what we can do is just store it in a variable first, right? We can just call it, const files is request.files. Oops. And then we can say const audio is, well, let's do this. Let's just initialize it as let audio undefined, and then we can use an if statement. So if files, then we can reassign audio to be files.audio.
Why didn't you put the rec in front of that? Like why?
Because we on line 76.
We already accessed the request.
Yeah. So I just put it there well, I could also have done it like this well, anyway, I just stored it in a temporary variable.
Okay.
On line 76. If I wanted to, I could do it in line and put, rec.files in the if statement. I don't know if files is always present or not. It sounded like files wasn't present. So if I destructure it, I'm answering Blood Strive's thing. If I destructure it, like I couldn't destructure. I'm concerned, like what would happen if I destructured rec.files and I tried to get audio out of it. I'm actually kind of interested in what happens there. If I go to the browser console, const something equals, I don't know, destructure something that's from an undefined object, what happens? Yeah, it says cannot destructure property audio of undefined if it is undefined. So if files was undefined, then I couldn't destructure audio.
The problem is really rec.files here, then it sounds like.
Right, so it looks like if there's no files being actually uploaded, there's no yeah, so I could use the question mark dot, oh my god, I always call it the conditional
The ternary
access operator. No, it's not the ternary. It's the he's basically saying that if you wanted to get audio out of that, you could do rec dot files question mark dot audio.
Whoa.
So in newer versions of JavaScript, instead of throwing an error, a type error that property audio doesn't exist on undefined, it would just return undefined to the variable here. So it's sort of like just chain. It's like chain access, conditional chain access.
I've never heard of that
I'm gonna
before.
look it up.
That's in older JavaScript?
It's in newer
JavaScript. It's in newer
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
I'm a little spoiled because when I use TypeScript, I can use like newer features, and then it gets transpiled them to older JavaScript. Let me look up the actual name for this operator.
I'm gonna learn TypeScript eventually, one thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Optional chaining.
Optional
It
chain.
is optional chaining. JavaScript optional chaining operator. Yeah, so you can do MDN optional chaining, and it has a good article on it. And if I go to browser support for this thing, although we're not using it in the browser.
So it means that if
So it looks like you'd have to have.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'll say my comment after yours.
It's saying if files exist, then look for audios. Otherwise, return undefined.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. Yep.
Okay.
But you would have to have Node. You'd have to make sure you're running Node 14 or greater, on your back end. So I was just going to avoid it because I don't know if that's the case. What version of Node this Express API is running on? Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm trying to remember how do I check Node version.
Yeah, that's usually what I do, but that would be the local machine, and I don't know if that's the same as where you're going to deploy it either.
Heroku is where it's being deployed. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, so but in the meantime, we can just do the good old-fashioned if statements.
It says that it currently supports 14, 16, and 17.
Okay. Yeah, optional chaining is a really handy operator. But when you get into like modern JavaScript syntax, those niceties, then you start having to think about like where you're deployed and which versions support things. So I think we could just do the if statement here. So if files is defined, get the audio, right?
Right.
And if audio is defined, what do we want to do? Could we just do the array check on audio? Well, audio is the file. So we could just shorten this. This can be a const, by the way, pretty sure. All right, so I don't need that. All right, so what this is, since we already sort of pulled it out into a variable called audio, we don't need to do the request dot anymore. So, but we check if it's an array. And if it is, get the first thing out of the array. And if it's not an array, just use the audio. But we're going to call it file now.
Okay.
Now, file might still be undefined. So think we could modify our if-else statement to be a little different. So what are your thoughts? You have thoughts? What would you do here?
So
We have
why?
audio. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Why you saying that we could change it to be a little different? Why would we change it to be a little different?
Okay. Well, right now our if else statement does two things. One, the else block is assuming there's no audio file,
Okay.
right? But this one is this if statement is assuming that this property audio is present, but it also has this MIME type. But audio might still be undefined, right? Like if this files object, you know, instead of having .audio had .video, and you tried to get audio out of it, this would be undefined. And then on line 89, or excuse me, 88, you would be calling undefined .mime type, and then you'd have a crash here, another type error.
Why would it like? I mean, obviously, I understand like the undefined part, but why would it crash like, if it's already in the if else statement? So like, it's like, oh, it's not working in the if part, so I guess we'll just do the else part, or would it not do that?
No, it's not going to do that because it's going to execute the code from like the inside out. It's going to execute the expressions from the inside out. So the first thing it's going to do, well, um, maybe inside, that's probably not correct, but like this is obviously an array. So there's no like type error problems there, right?
Right.
Those are just literals.
Right.
And it's going to say dot includes. Okay. And then it's going to try and access dot mime type on file. But if this is undefined, it's going to basically try and do undefined dot some property.
Okay.
And if you can't do that, it'll JavaScript will throw that type error thing if you try and access a property on something that's not an object.
Okay.
So this is another case for either the conditional, I always forget, optional chaining um, method, or
Right.
we can stick to our uh,
If else.
if else statements. So what I was thinking of is instead of putting else, what if we if audio is equal to null or undefined, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if we run our update without new audio in here,
Oh.
and then do an else if with our check for um, the MIME types and all that. And then at the end, we have an else block that says, you know, like it does a console log for, hey, we don't, there's something that says audio here, but we don't know, it's an unrecognized MIME type.
Okay. And then that way that would avoid the whole like, this is undefined, and it's like running line 93 basically, because it will, if it passes past like line 87, it will have already passed that check.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You want to fill in the parts here, and let's see if this might work.
Sure.
This is sorry, this is not checking audio. This should check file now.
Wait, what should check? What did you just
I
change?
on line 87, I had audio equals
Ah,
undefined. But this part we did here is we've used a new variable. Oops.
okay. I see. It's interesting because I wrote this code definitely with someone else's help and never really understood what it was doing. So this is really nice to understand.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it's really like you gotta go line by line sometimes, because your eyes kind of gloss over it, and it thinks like, oh, it should do this, but um, it can be kind of a pain and
Right,
slow to just figure out line by line what it's trying to do.
right. I'm not sure what MIME type is though, like in general. It's just like some property of an object or something.
Yeah, it's just these strings that say, audio MP3, or it might be like, you might see image PNG or like text JSON. It's just telling the browser what kind of data type it is. I don't know what MIME stands for, if it stands for anything.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So in that case, we probably have to get rid of this other else because we're not, oops, hello. Because we're not using it anymore. And then we have to do that. We have to put this if in the else if, right?
yeah, I think so. Multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Neat. Today I learned.
Is that really what it means?
That's what DN Bull is saying. Multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Stack Overflow has never did me wrong, except for that one time,
I have
which I shall not talk about.
I have never gotten a good answer out of Stack Overflow, and it's probably because of I'm just like looking for the wrong things. But
Yes, Creek Burn is saying MIME type is basically the official way to tell applications how to read data. File extensions, they don't use file extensions, and only the MIME types are useful.
that's the right way to structure that, right?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Okay. Um, and I understood what you said for this last one, but I don't know what we would put there.
But basically, when this else block would happen is in a situation, it's just going to catch the situations that were not expected. Like something weird has happened here, right? Basically, the audio or the file property exists, but it's not one of these um, MIME types that we can use. So you could say, um, log a console warn or console error and say like unrecognized MIME type. Um, and you could return a response to the client. There's HTTP error codes for like invalid stuff.
Okay.
Um, response status codes. Yeah, so it could be like 400 bad requests, or 406 like not acceptable. I don't know if there's anything specific for like invalid file type. Oh, unsupported media type is 415. Ah. The media format of the requested data is not supported by the server, so the server is rejecting the request. So today I learned. So let's start with the simple thing. You just want to log an error or warning to the console.
And the else?
Yeah, right. So the first block would be if there's no file, right? So that just means we update everything but the file, but the audio input. The The next else if is if it's a file type that we can use, and then we're going to do some different stuff there. And this last part is some unexpected scenario, which we want to log in our log somewhere, but we can't really do anything with it.
So should we just put like some sort of error code there for now, or?
Yeah, let's just first do a console, try console warn, and
Console
then a message that
warn.
says, yeah, there's several methods on console for different levels of logs.
Huh. Well, what do you
Creek
just?
Burn Sane
Sorry.
415 is about the content type header, so I might have been wrong about sending a 415 response code. But go ahead. I interrupted.
Do I put a string in here?
Yeah, it works exactly like console log,
Mm.
except it's just at a different level. So different like browser terminals will color it yellow instead of plain. Things like that.
Ah. So we do 400 then?
This is not the part where we send a response code yet. This is just we want to log a message on the server side. So we could put whatever text we want.
We could say like, something about a MIME type, like MIME type not supported.
Yeah, perfect. Go ahead. Okay.
I see blood.
Now the next you could try and log the value of MIME type of file.mime type.
Oh. In like instead of the string or in addition to it?
In addition to it.
And the same console.warn or console.log?
Console warns fine. You could do it in the same console warn statement, or you could do it in a separate one. That's fine too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, like just with a comma, I assume then. And then to get, you just have file.mime type. Is that how we would stick it in there?
Yeah. Yeah, because in this block we know file exists, and if MIME type does not it's either going to be a value or it could be undefined, but it'll log correctly in this scenario.
Okay. So should we try and run it, or is there more we need to do before we do that?
Well, the second thing we could do is return an actual response to the client, right? Because this log is only going to show up on the server. So this is where you could use the response object, like the one on 104, on line 104, and you could send the response back to the client with an error message.
So that would be like res dot. It wouldn't be a redirect.
I think it's like, no, you could say, I think there's res.status.
Status.
And then you could give it the code. You could use 400 for bad requests. And I think I think the status, if you hover over, it's not going to tell you. It's not going to give you nice code or tell it. It's just the number 400.
Oh, yeah.
We would have to go to the Express docs, and we could see that on the. Oh, gotta go all the way. Oh, what's the API reference? Oh my gosh.
Need the code, then you can send JSON and add an object with a message. Wait, what do you mean, blood? 400 bad requests? You know, I feel like in like computer literacy classes, they should go over what those numbers mean, because I never knew what they meant. Still don't, but like most people don't, you know?
Yeah, I always have to look them up anyway. Anyway, it just takes a number. I don't know if it's got any other options, but so just the number 400, and then you can chain
Oh,
another method after that.
I see.
The the one I use the most is .json, I think, in Express.
Yeah, it looks like that's what Blood is saying too.
Yep. Okay. Exactly. So basically, you could put any arbitrary JSON in this response if you wanted to give more information. So, like Blood was saying, message failed to add item, or in this case, well, you could say failed to add item, unexpected MIME type, something like that.
Wait, so in Blood in your message it says we're doing res.status, but then we send results. Would it be send res or send results? Does that matter? Just for like,
The
what's it?
results would be the results. First off, res.status 200 would be when a success scenario. Um, and results might be an object that contains some data or just a string. I don't know what .send does different than .json. Is that
Oh, so
a
you could do
shorthand?
just .json, just like that. That's a thing.
Yep, you can do that, and you could pass it an object like Blood has written.
Huh. And this is all like, you just put like a string in here, or you just, because you have success,
Any
false. Sorry.
any normal JavaScript object stuff. You could give it, properties like message and hello world or whatever you'd like to do.
Hmm. Okay. Peter, this is Express. JSON sets the MIME type as well, but check the docs, Afro says.
Okay, neat. That is good to know. Quick Burn says, in addition to the status code, we also want to show an error message next to the file input in the form. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good point, but I think we're gonna have to like improving the user experience in the form. We want to get to that after um we get the thing working. But that's a good point. And so otherwise what they're going to have, what we might see is like they'll get the error message, but it'll go to like a new page that's just some JSON text. And Creek is saying a better user experience is to go back to the form page and put like a little error message underneath the element, like the
Oh.
thing. I was trying to see if there's .json. Yeah, it looks like it says this method sends a response with the correct content type, and the parameters converted to a string using JSON stringify. So I guess send is more general, and .json is more specific.
Okay. But as it is right now, it will be, it's like, it's good, right?
Yep, yep. And if you wanted to add more properties to that JSON object, you could, but you don't need to.
Peter says that they think that .send allows to just send plain text.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I do believe that's true.
Okay, now that we have this, what next? Because we have the 3 different scenarios.
So we want to do an edit, make sure it goes into the first block when we don't add an audio file. And then when we add an audio file, we want to see whether it goes into the else if block on 106 or the else block on 111. And that's going to tell us a little more information on what to do next.
Peter says that they tend to add a machine-readable error type or code to make it easier for the front end to conditionally handle the error. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fancy.
What Peter's saying is when you wrote on 113 res status 400, to get that 400 number, you have to like parse the actual HTTP response something. If you include another property in your JSON that says like code or status 400, it's easier to just pull that out of this JSON body that you get.
Okay.
We can see if we get this block to show in the browser, we can demonstrate how it's a little harder to get access to the 400 and why you might want to also include that number in the JSON object you're sending back.
I mean, we can change it. I'm not like overly attached to the dot status.
No, you'd still need the dot status.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
It just
'Cause
wouldn't
that's
have anything in it?
specific for the... Oh no, you'd still need the dot stat. You'd be duplicating the number 400 in both the status and in the JSON object. One's for the browser, and then this other one is for like your code, kind of.
Okay. So, should we try and run it, or do we need to put more in? Like, I think we're gonna have to put more in the else if eventually the Cloudinary stuff, but
Correct. But let's see. I would test it now and see if it's working as we expect. I'm really interested. I want to make sure when we just made some code changes. So I want to make an edit without an audio file and see if it goes in the correct block, right? If we get our console log, no audio in request, updating MongoDB only. And then as a second attempt, I want to add an audio file and then see which of the two other conditional blocks it runs in.
so I just tried to like add another or like update something, and it worked. It didn't send anything in the what's it called in the terminal? Yeah,
Didn't say anything in the terminal.
I can do it again. Okay. No, it didn't say anything. But like it's working. Yeah, it works.
Wait, you're in the PowerShell terminal or your other
Oh, I
your
am
Node?
in the PowerShell terminal. Thank you. Good for me. I opened it to check the Node version. Thank you. So it did then. Am I even running the app? Yes.
Okay, so that's request body. Oh, so it should be after all of that stuff. It should say somewhere our console log, no audio in request, etc., etc.
But it's not, which is interesting. Should do it again.
Yeah, what if we comment out the first chunk of like on 65 through 68, we comment out those.
You don't want the console logs?
It just might make it easier to find the string we're looking for.
Okay.
Also,
So for the update, I just barely did it. It's not showing that one. But it didn't show the one before until I just sent this new one for some reason. I don't know. Because it's supposed to say, the translation input is supposed to say Rufio is awesome and humble right now. But that's not in the terminal.
I'm looking at this update entry on line 64. This bracket here, does this make sense?
Oh. Oh.
And then the one at the bottom, it looks like there's an extra bracket pair.
Yeah,
I think this should just be the.
It could have come from like how we were chopping everything up and moving stuff around.
Okay, now it looks more like a normal function body. Some good information, Creekburn.
Okay. Okay, so like it's doing the same thing as it. It's sending like it's sending these twice, it looks like. Because we have 2 translation inputs, 2 phonetic inputs.
Okay. This is interesting. Is it because we have console log statements in our update input page?
Blood says the object is getting cloned. Where would that?
That's okay. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Blood.
Also,
Which object?
I think
Go ahead.
just the one it's in the what's it called in the terminal? Because like if I don't know if you can see the terminal right now, but it has the new object ID and it has word, audio, phonetic, grammatical, translation input, and then it has phonetic, grammatical, and translation again. I think that's
that's interesting.
what we're referring to.
I'm not sure how that. I wouldn't think you could have properties with the same name on a document in MongoDB. So okay. So we're not in add entry. We are in update entry. We commented out a bunch of console logs. We can comment out the Do you think that's a console log statement from the update input page where we're reading it in? Await entry find one console log data on line 49 is where I'm looking.
Oh, we did just barely add that today, I think. We could try getting rid of it and see if it happens again. But that's the update. Yeah, we could try not console logging that.
Yeah, let's comment it out and see if we can narrow down.
Oops.
Where that message is coming from and why are we not getting our message that we're expecting? in our other method.
Okay. Hey, no, I did it. It did it. The no audio and request. Or it did briefly.
Oh.
Where did it go?
Wait, am I sharing?
Okay, well, it was here and then it disappeared. I don't know why.
Yeah, the terminal does not seem to share well over live share.
Oh.
Like, I'm not able to scroll everywhere.
Here, I can make it really big so you can see it.
Okay, so that's Mongo result, and then above it, it was saying, well, we know what line Mongo result comes from. That is line 101 in our code.
Right.
I wonder if the server's like only showing the most recent set of logs.
What's weird
But you
though
did say, yeah.
is it said like there's no audio, no new audio found, and then it disappeared. Which is not useful.
Yeah. Creek, I'm looking for this line. It's in the first branch of this if statement. We saw Mongo result, so it's entering here. I'm just trying to understand why we're not seeing this console log statement.
It's just
Would it help to refactor to async await code? It would only be this part here on like 88 to this dot then. Nothing else at the moment is async. So I don't think we'd gain too much.
And what it's showing right now isn't the latest change because it should say in like phonetic input or something. Like this just keeps getting better. I think that's what I wrote. Yeah.
What if we restart the node daemon?
Yeah, I can do that.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm at trying stuff.
Okay. Restarted.
Oh, you're installing it, updating it. Cool.
I just barely did that because it does that all the time. Like, okay. All right, so that is the last, what just barely showed up in the terminal is the change before the change we just did. But look, it says no audio and request, updating MongoDB only. For some reason, it stayed this time.
Okay. Well, there's some mystery in the way this is logging things, but this is what I would expect, right? Because we got the first one, and then Mongo result is what happens after it successfully updates in the then call, the callback in the on line 100. Oh,
All right.
Let me see if I can rejoin the live share.
Okay.
Because my it's no longer. I'm looking at your stream, and so I'm seeing it, but the couple people who are watching me are not seeing the terminal. So let me if I leave collaboration session, and then join.
You don't need like another code, do you? Hey, Texas, thanks for the follow.
I could get the link from before. Wait, just thanks for the follow.
Oh.
I'm joining.
Oh, I think I got an eyelash in my eye. Wow. Oh,
Not the new eyes.
uh-oh. Dan, did you go offline?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I meant your stream, though.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's telling me you're no longer streaming. Peter also says object ID, and it has
Okay.
word, audio.
It might have been. Well, let's see here. Let's see what's happening. It says unstable or network connection detected. What can I do to fix that?
It said that you're back now.
Okay. And looks like it's a kind of a pretty poor connection problem. Also, why is it trying to stream such a high bit rate? I'm just gonna stop and restart my stream, but I'll hear. I won't like leave the chat or anything. We'll just stop it.
Okay.
Double check settings.
While we're doing this, Blood, I don't know if I think rats are a good pet. I apparently really liked them when I was 2 years old. There was this one time I was crying, and my brothers, we had pet rats or something, and they like stuck a rat in my face, and I stopped crying. So I did like them at one point, I guess.
Okay.
My family sounds interesting. Slightly dysfunctional. You know how it goes. It might be because if you're looking at my stream and streaming, maybe? I don't know. Blood, maybe you should be worried about your rat eating your dog, because they're really, they do things like that, don't they? I seem tall. Can I kick some ass now and then? Yeah, but they're taller than me. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over here, but that's okay. I
Does
would
it
rather
does it keep shutting
continue.
down? Or because like I do see it coming back up, like on.
I'm not entirely sure which part is causing the problem.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
Like the bit of me, I'm not sure, entirely sure which part is causing the problem. Just like an internet issue.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll just close some browsers, but um, okay. I think we should try adding an audio file to the edit.
Okay.
As long as you can hear me and I can see your stream or the terminal or whatever, hopefully that will be enough to keep working.
Right. Blood, I am 5'10". I can't remember how much that is in centimeters, but all right, we did it.
New audio found.
Blood, my little brother is 6'6". So it's getting the new audio. It's giving us a random ID.
That's the date.get time
Ah, okay.
we've been doing. Okay, so now we want to start putting those old, excuse me, 114. We have the commented out await Cloudinary uploaders.
Right. Let's see if we can get it to work. Born, I'm 5'10". Okay, so we would put it in the else if.
Yeah, where we verify it's got a audio type we can use. Okay. So we know line 109 is not correct, or not how we've structured the code so far.
Right, because explicit had some weird, like, rules in the documentation or
Yeah.
something.
If you hover over explicit, do you get the tooltip for the function signature? Yeah.
Is that the tooltip for the function signature? Because I didn't understand those words, but I can.
Okay. So this is saying this is good to go through. So this is saying the first parameter is public ID and it's a string.
Okay.
Okay. And then the options thing is saying the second parameter is called options. It's optional and it's of a type upload API options. So if you went to that, it'd probably tell you there's a bunch of other things. But that's what this second parameter is that we've currently got type, invalidate, resource type, etc.
Right.
And then the last one is the callback, which is, I guess, do this after you've uploaded it, kind of a thing.
Okay. Well, I think the do this after you've uploaded it thing isn't going to work because of that used to be what's on like 93.
Well, we can put stuff back in there. But what we want to do is first fix like line 109, right? This is not the code.
That's going to work.
This is not the ID for a new audio file.
Right. Right.
So what is the code for the new audio file?
Doesn't that go back to the original
The ID.
problem of like how can we get the ID from Cloudinary, or does it matter? Do we need to get it from like Cloudinary in particular?
Well, we don't. Oops. The way we've done this is we don't need the existing. We don't need to talk to Cloudinary to get the existing ID, right? We already got that from Mongo, and this else if scenario is where we're writing something new. So we're just gonna put a new ID and not care about the old one. Does that make
Okay.
sense? I feel like I explained that poorly.
I like kind of get it, but like I think I will as we explore it more, I guess.
Okay. We're replacing the audio file with a new one when we add an audio file to that form element.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. And
so we don't need the old ID. We just need to make a new ID.
Okay. So we would just have to figure out like what, I mean, like you said, like what that would be, but do we just make like a whole new variable, or would we grab like audio or something?
Well, I think we were using the time, right? That line
Yeah.
106. And if we go down to what we had for add entry, the new file name is what we were using for the public ID.
Right. I think we completely
Oh,
got
this is different.
rid of the download URL.
Oh, explicit is a little different than upload that we use on line 155.
I think the reason why I used it is because it was tied to updating or something, but I don't know. Also, Christian, I haven't heard the news. What are the news? Explicit. Cloudinary. I tried to read this before and it didn't make sense, so I just need to get better at reading documentation, honestly.
Yeah, so this is, okay, so the explicit method is used to apply actions to already uploaded assets. Most common usage of this method is to eagerly generate transformations for assets that have already been uploaded. Yeah, okay, so I think this is more for like having images modified.
So, I mean, images, yes, but it also applies to like the audio. So, but the way we have it structured now, do we need to like, we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to modify an already uploaded thing, right?
Yeah, I think we could just upload a new one and it should simplify this part.
So we would just use basically the same code from the like line 155, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's what I'm thinking.
That would be cool if that worked out. And would it be like just like a verbatim copy of the like the add entry?
I think it's a verbatim copy of like 155 through Well, it's not verbatim, but it's mostly. It's pretty close. Well, it's not pretty close. Let's um like 155 through 161. This callback, that's the third parameter, I think is going to look a little differently.
Ah, okay. So just this. And we wouldn't need the await, right?
We want the await.
We do want the await.
We may not need it, but we want the await for now.
Okay. I really need to get rid of some of my little notes here because they're very confusing. Okay, I found where we were. And we're putting this in the... Wait, no, we're just replacing it here. Never mind. Okay, wait a second. So... They have file.temp file path instead of what we had, which we don't want.
Right. I think we stick with file temp file path.
Okay. So then I could probably just get rid of that, I think. Maybe.
I was reading the docs. It's open for a more obvious example. That's fine. Okay, so I think what I would like to do is not place that third parameter in there on upload.
Oh, okay.
Flatter fashion with the async await.
Wait. So we have the else.
Does that make sense?
Else if includes this. Then we have that. And so you don't want this. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's. But you could do it this way. So I think this callback is used whenever it's done.
Okay, well, I can get rid of it. It's not doing a lot there anyway.
Okay. So once this await block finishes, we can then run our entry, find one, and update.
Wouldn't that be the third block though, or no? Or
It's
that?
the same thing. It's just where we're telling Cloudinary to call this stuff or this function later, and then we're just writing it in a more like a flatter, like the async await style, right? Instead of the callback style. Because it will pause on line 105 until the upload's finished, and then it will continue to execute the code. If you weren't using async await, you would then have to use the callback because otherwise it wouldn't know to call that next step afterwards.
Okay. Well, if we're using await here, don't I have to stick like async somewhere? I don't think it is here.
Yeah, it should the start of this function should be async. Yeah, update entry is an async on line 58.
Oh, okay.
So
I
that
forgot
enables
about
us
that.
to use the await keyword.
With await, do you have to do like dot then after that every time or no?
No, dot then is how promises were handled before the async await syntax. was added. So basically, async await is a like syntax sugar on the on promises, right? The promise dot then um, asynchronous programming.
Right.
It's a tricky subject, so if it doesn't make sense right away, that's super normal.
I mean, but it's not the first time I've heard about it. It's okay. Get it eventually.
Yep.
So there's just going back to chat. The agency is finally happening. That's fantastic. They announced that in my cohort, but it didn't happen, which was fine. Army freelancers. I don't think he'll take his cut from the Army of Freelancers. He's not like that, you know? I think Leon has enough money to be doing all the stuff that he's doing. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. I'm focused.
Pretty exciting news.
Yeah, it is. It's been like a year since he originally announced it, so it's a long ways coming. But we said that we aren't putting the exact find when an update. Like, we're not putting like a copy exactly, right?
I would put I would do, if I was going to duplicate something, I would duplicate the entry find one and update we have on line 84 above,
Ah, okay.
but we're going to uncomment
The audio input.
audio input.
Okay. So we put it here then, like you said.
Okay.
And we can just put it there. Just that's fine. Like I know we just talked about then, but like no, then no extra stuff in front of entry.
Well, we are doing what's probably a not great practice of mixing async await and the dot then stuff.
Ah,
So we could write this. What you would do is you would add await to like on the beginning where you just highlighted on 113.
mm.
And then you would pull the code. You would then change the code on 125 to not use dot then. Do you want to go ahead and give it a shot?
So what would this look like instead? Like
Well,
how?
that's giving you the answer. Here
Okay,
it would,
okay.
you know, right? You would do this, okay, and then you would do
Wait, but that's not a
this,
wait.
this. Oops, good call.
Wait, what was my call?
That's not await. I forgot the await keyword up there. There, that's what it would look like. Now, if I undo all that,
Rude.
how would you how would you write that?
Wait, why did you set it to a new variable though? So that you could return the variable? Is that what that
Yeah,
was?
you have to return the variable because that's what on 125 is in this dot then callback. That's what result is doing. If you are not using dot then, you have to await and get the variable back from the function.
Okay. Fancy coders coding so fast you can't cheat.
It codes so fast you can't cheat. Go back and watch the VOD. Clip it.
I can't do that till after though. I'm on the spot
Yeah,
now.
that's tough. I know.
So we have the results, and then
You gotta add the await keyword, like you
Oh,
reminded
yeah.
me.
Right. But I can do
And
like,
then you
sorry.
You have a difference between result and results, a plural difference.
I don't want. I thought. Okay. All right. I thought we were erasing all of this for some reason.
We still want to log the console and return a redirect response. We just don't want to use the .then syntax. We want to use the async await syntax.
My God, I should have paid attention in class when I was taught this. It's fine. But I can't say like res dot send result. Can I? Is that right? That seems to
You
be
could
like.
if you wanted to send the result back to the client, but what we've done here and what you had in your code was to do a redirect. So you wouldn't do both. You'd either send some information back to the client, but in this case, you're going to redirect them to a new URL. That's what you or whoever originally wrote this code chose to do.
Okay.
We log the result on 126.
Right. I'm just trying to remember what you wrote here because I can't just do it function like. It doesn't like it. What did I just do?
Right. The benefit of async await is it lets you kind of write it in a normal, like, synchronous style, so you don't have to like nest these callbacks. You can avoid callback hell, as they say. So you can kind of get rid of the function that's wrapping this.
Oh. We still need to like do something with the result though.
We're logging it.
So, but like I wouldn't just like get rid of all of this, would I? Like it wouldn't just be that.
Well, and you could fix the indentation.
Is that what we want? Does that do the same thing? Because it doesn't seem to be sending, like it doing what dot then was doing, or is it?
No, it's doing exactly what .then was doing. It's gonna wait, or it's gonna make sure to execute this console log and redirect after the entry find when an update code executes, right? So it's gonna ensure that this code executes in the order we want. Before await async await, you had to use .then method and callbacks to make sure that the order was the way you wanted it. But with this, you can write it as you see in front of you. It looks like normal code, normal synchronous code, but it still will pause and not execute the code until the first piece finishes.
Ah.
It's going to pause here as far as this big function goes, right? And it's going to wait for entry.find when an update to complete before moving on to line 26, 126, and 127.
Oh. This is an interesting moment in my life where I learned this like probably like 10 months ago and it's just making sense. So
I think
thank you.
it's true of a lot of things you learn in a classroom or book setting, where you're reading it and you get a sense of familiarity, but it's not the same as like understanding and recall until you try and muddle through it and do it yourself and make some mistakes and learn as you go.
Right. I mean, that's how basically this whole project has been for me. I didn't know how backend worked at all, and I just didn't get it. And struggling through it has absolutely helped with that. Like I still don't get most of it, but I do get some of it, and that's more than I got before.
Yeah. And if you keep putting the time in, you'll understand more and more. And then learning other backend stuff will be simpler because you'll see familiar patterns. Um,
Mm,
so it won't be as difficult as the first time. It'll
just
still be different stuff, but it'll be good.
okay.
Um, we missed this
Oh
part
yes, we
on
did.
120.
I totally, yep. And that we used
Okay.
a new file name, so it should be fine.
So one thing we could add here, right, um, is a try catch block to return a nice error to the client or some
If-
error information to the client if one of these promises fails, one of these asynchronous code calls.
So, for some reason, I thought the try catch was like connected to .then, but it's not.
No, there's a dot catch method that's definitely part of the .then .catch, like the promise API. When you use async await, though, you can't do .catch. So instead, you can use try catch like you'd use with normal synchronous code.
So basically, all we would do in that case is we would just wrap all of this, like, because we wouldn't wrap the find one and update in a try, right?
I would wrap all of this
Ah,
from 105 to 127 in a try catch block.
okay, because that's when like the
That way
logic
it'll
starts executing.
it's just it lets you concisely catch whether it's an error in the upload or in the whether it's a Cloudinary problem or a MongoDB problem. It'll catch both of those, and you can just send an error response back to the client.
Okay. I would just say catch and res dot like a res.json type thing like we were doing before earlier today.
Yeah. Well, we got to give it a status
Which is like
first.
before the
Well, this is
res.json or within it?
before it.
Huh.
First, you set a status on the response, and then you do something after that, typically.
Like that? No.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Is it a 400 like the other one was or no?
No, 400 would be a bad request. Says that's something the client sent you wrong. This is something that the things we're wrapping are like server side stuff. So if something goes wrong, I would give it like a 500, like a server error. Internal server error is what 500 is.
Okay.
There may be something better, but that's good enough. And then you can now use .json and pass some more information to help you troubleshoot what's going on.
And I can just like tack that on here, or do I have to do another
Yeah.
res?
Nope, that's exactly how the syntax works. I think we've got an example of that above is somewhere, right? Above or below? I can't remember where did we do that before?
Yes. Above, I think.
Oh, 135 below. Like
Oh, below.
like 4 lines below where we're at.
Okay. Wow, it's literally okay. It was literally right there. Good for me. Love my life. And we say that 500 means like a server error, right? Internal. Right?
Yep, that would be like what 500 represents.
It would be funny if I wrote
You
internal
you could say something more descriptive, like either Cloudinary or MongoDB
But wouldn't that
failed.
so like you wouldn't say one or the other because you would say
Well,
both of
at
them.
the moment you don't know,
Right.
but after you add a more descriptive error message here, the catch part, you can actually catch the error and then pass that information in, and that will have like the stack trace and a lot more information.
Stack trace. I've never heard of that before.
You've not heard of a stack trace? Well,
no.
mine just explode. We've been seeing stack traces in those error messages in the terminal all day or all afternoon, right?
Ah,
This is the error message, and it happened at this line of this code, and these are the things that happened before it.
that's a stack trace.
Yep,
How
it's
come no one?
basically
Sorry.
it's basically the error, a message, and then the function calls or the code that executed in order right until you hit the error.
How come no one's been like? I mean, I've seen that, and people just been like, "Yeah, the stuff that the terminal says." Well, how come they've never said the actual like name? I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes boot camps they got to go quick. Besides, front end JavaScripty web dev classes, they don't think in terms of stack traces as often as the us. Well, I say us, but like boring back endy types. No, I don't know. Sometimes you go quick through something, and then um, stuff like terminology might get glossed over, or you might just not recall it because it wasn't something that was repeated in a very fast-paced course.
Well, Bull is saying that it was explained, which means I just probably was out of it because that
Sucks to hum.
basically was me.
We do want to catch our error object
Oh,
here.
right. We have to say that, right?
Yeah,
But we don't put
and
error anywhere in there, or we do put error somewhere in there.
oh, we can add another property to our JSON,
And you
and then just stringify the whole error object.
and we wait. You want to say like error.stringify, right? Can you do that? No, it doesn't like it.
No, I would like, let's say if I did like a line return here, right, and a line return. So we can call this error object just to be explicit, and we could pass it um, this whole error object. So this might work. You might not have to stringify it.
Stringifying meaning turning into a string, right?
Yeah, so JSON stringify, this is what I was talking about. If you wrap this and then you call JSON stringify on it, it will turn this, what might be a very complex object in JavaScript, into just a text string that you could send across to pretty much any application.
But we don't have to do that, or we do.
I'm not 100% sure. We're in JSON and we're in JavaScript, so this might work without the stringify.
Because we're already in the JSON. I like how I just like
Yeah,
started writing like the letters with my hand. I don't know why.
it helps with the memory.
I'm a very visual person, which is why this is not the easiest for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It can be tricky trying to understand this, what is essentially text, and then trying to visualize what happens.
Yeah. So now we can see if it works or it doesn't and sends the error.
So Peter and other people. I think the safe thing to do, by the way, is to definitely JSON stringify this error message. Stringify error, the error object. And then they were saying we can't differentiate because we've wrapped multiple things in our try part of our try catch block. We don't know which part the error occurred in. But by passing in this extra information, we'd probably get a better sense of where it occurred because we'll have a more descriptive error message, an
Wait, so
error object.
it says you wrote error message, error dot message. The message property coming from above it, or where's that coming from?
Usually, when libraries or code throws errors, there's a message property on it. Like if you were to do something like in your own code, throw new error, something, really terrible happened, right? This string is then available on the message property.
Okay.
And so most see that message property in there, it gets attached to the error object. Anyway, if you threw this, then in this catch block, there would be error.message, and then the value of that would be something really terrible happened.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Peter's correct that the in JavaScript, because JavaScript is wonderful, when you throw something, it doesn't have to be an error. You could, for instance, throw a number 42, in which case it wouldn't have a message property, but hopefully we can assume for the moment. Here, I can put there, but hopefully if there's not a message property or something, it won't crash on us. But to keep it simple, there probably is a message property on an error that's thrown from these libraries, so we can run it and see what happens.
Okay. Let's try it then.
Yes, see if it works before we get too... Yeah, if it's very poor form to throw something that's not a real error object.
It's showing the one that we did before, and it looks like it's showing us the exact place that was changed, but I don't think it's showing the thing we just did. No problem, Untouchable. I'm glad this is helpful for you.
Okay, so this is the scenario where we added a new audio file?
Yes. Well, a new audio. Yes, yes. Which it worked. Whoa, I did not register that until just now. It worked.
Can we test it if the actual new audio file plays when we go to the
I guess we'd have to have known what the other audio file was, which I've been using
tricky.
The same two. Well, this is not the one I've been using. So maybe we'll have to do that again. We should listen to what it is.
Basu up.
So that one is Basu up. And then if we do this again. Wait a second.
Basu up.
Okay. Those are the exact same file. Wow. So wait a second. I need to find a different file because we uploaded the same one.
You could ask chat for their favorite sound effects.
Where would we get those though? Or is there like a
Chat
website or something?
Ideas. Some open source, royalty-free sound effects. I'm sure they exist. I just don't know where they are.
Me neither. Does anyone know? Yeah, Peter, I'd love to try that. I definitely need to understand it better. That's really cool that you did that.
Oh yeah, I missed that message. I want that link. I want to
I do have that one on my
back to that.
computer. That one, we can
Cool.
do that one. Okay, wait a second. Let me just.
Oh, it's tagged with the topic monads, so functional. Ooh, fancy. All right, cool. I'll have to read that.
Okay, let me put. Okay. Now we should be able to see if it's the same one or not. It is the new one.
Oh, that's exciting.
We were successful.
Holy shit.
No
We did
way.
it. Okay. So my note taking, I didn't keep up with it, but you know, at the end of this, something happens, something,
Words.
and then we did it. It works.
We need like the John Cena sound. How did you just type an emoji? How
What?
are you doing that?
Elite developer skills, secrets.
Well, now I'm jealous and not gonna look it up.
How we doing?
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're watching, I don't know what's the extension is this?
The
Uh,
live share? Or
no. I think it's this one. Emoji Sense extension that I'm using.
Wow.
you write down?
Anyway,
Ah,
I can write
it's
Emoji
an
Sense.
extension. Emoji.
Yeah, Emoji Sense. Am I using Flux? No, wait.
What is
Oh,
Flux?
is the color coming across as did it dim the night light on? Oh.
Alright, I need to read through chat. I'm super behind.
I'm like, what's the library Flux? No, this is something, the nighttime thing built into Ubuntu. I forgot about that.
Is that
I
how
get
you
used to it, I
say
guess.
that?
Okay, now we're back to blindingly blue light, although I still get artifacts through my capture card. I think it might be dying on me.
What is an artifact?
Graphical little glitches, like little lines or dots that shouldn't be there that flash in and out. Just a
Huh.
just a general term.
Alright, so right now, it seems like we have the ability to get an entry as we've tested. We can populate a form, and even if you don't put in an audio, it still works. And if you do put in a new audio, it works if you want to update it. And so now we have the create, read, and update, and now we just need the delete. Wow.
Deleting has to be easier than creating or updating, right?
You
Right?
think so? I don't know.
What could go wrong?
Right,
What could
right.
go wrong?
It will be so easy now that I'm a genius at this. Definitely.
There you go.
Well, I can't even believe we did it. 'Cause we just essentially just reordered things, but added new conditions as well. Like if it was undefined, and also the else where we have the MIME type not supported. And then we got rid of the explicit.
Yeah. Maybe there's a use case for that, but I'm not super familiar with how you would modify an audio file with Cloudinary anyway. So this works, though, if you are okay with replacing the audio file. I guess you could argue that what happens to all the old audio files that are no longer attached to words, that might be a separate problem to think about.
Well, but they don't get replaced? Like get kicked off?
No, basically what happened is there's an existing file and it had an ID, and that ID was attached to a document in your database. And when we do edit, we are basically, when you upload a new audio file, it uploads a brand new one, doesn't do anything to the old one, and replaces the ID in your MongoDB document. So those old audio files are still in your Cloudinary,
Oh.
but they're no longer referenced by any of your words in your Mongo database.
That sounds like something that we may have to fix in the future, huh? Because that
Well,
sorry.
I was just gonna say I think blood was kind of I would in there delete the old one, not every time. What you could do is while you have access to this ID from the old one in your update method, if your update of your new audio file is successful, you could delete the old one, like on line 112, 113, or maybe after it.
Wait. So, is that the case for all of these like data fields? If we change like one of the data fields, does that modify the actual entry, or does that just create a whole other entry?
It's not the same for these other data fields because these are all properties on your document in MongoDB, and so you're updating the same document, right? You're not creating a new document. The difference with the audio file is the audio file lives in a separate database file storage system, which is Cloudinary.
Okay.
So the only way they're linked is through that ID property in your Mongo database.
Okay. So if I looked right, so the Mongo database will just have all of the like a very orderly amount of entries, but my Cloudinary database will be will have some files that don't have a home.
Right. They're like orphaned files, you could call them, right? They're no longer associated with words in your database.
Okay.
But what you could do in this function, after you've successfully uploaded a new one and updated this entry here, you could delete the old one from Cloudinary.
So I haven't done a delete request yet. That is probably something I don't know at this point, right?
You just have to look up the delete method or its destroy. The destroy method is used to immediately and permanently delete a single asset from your Cloudinary account.
That is very dramatic sounding. Destroy.
Yeah, there may be other ones. Nope, it's called destroy.
So, okay, so should I write a little note here so why are we putting it, or why would we be putting it right here?
Well, we want to do it where we know what the original ID was from, right? Once we overwrite the audio input ID, right, the ID to the Cloudinary file, it's going to be very hard to get it. So what you could do is, instead of find one and update, you could first do a find one for this name, get the old, you could do like const previous audio ID, and then do some stuff. This is not exact code, but you could do entry dot find one, whatever it is, right? Do some more stuff with it. Get the audio ID. Because once you overwrite it with the new file name, it's going to be very hard to find out what that old ID was that's no longer in use.
Okay. So we'd find the audio, we'd assign it to a new variable, and then we would delete the variable.
You wouldn't delete the variable. You want to call the Cloudinary API with the Cloudinary uploader destroy. So it would look something like this pseudocode, right? Get the old, or get the existing MongoDB document, right? And then you would get the old audio ID from the existing MongoDB document. Call you want to, all right, save in variable. Then you can do the upload new audio file, right? Modify exist or update existing MongoDB document. And then here you could then finally call Cloudinary uploader.destroy to delete old audio file with ID we saved in step unicorn. Because this will now be step unicorn. I don't know. I was going to number them, but whatever. That's the...
So the difference then, based on this pseudocode, is that you'd be grabbing the previous ID with that entry, and then you'd be doing everything we already did, and then after that you would delete it.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is the additions are get the existing entry and the audio ID out of that, save it in a variable, do the stuff we already do, and then at the end, once everything's succeeded, then we can safely delete the old audio file. If one of those things fails, it won't delete the old audio file, so that's probably pretty safe.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
for instance, like if you upload a new audio file, but for something goes wrong in your database update, you don't really want to delete the old audio file because then you'd have an entry with an ID that led to no document in the database.
Okay. That makes sense. And your
Unicorn-based indexing.
your pseudocode's a little better than mine. Just a little bit though.
I have a few more days doing this.
Just a
so
few.
the pseudocode shall improve.
Right. Well, we did a lot today. And I've been working on that issue for literally months, so thank you.
You're welcome. It was fun. It's fun to do some pair programming.
Yeah. We should do it again sometime. I never thought about doing a stream like this.
Yeah. Let me know when it works for you. I shall let you go. Thank you so much to your audience, your chat, for listening to me talk, and the folks who came over to mine.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate your help. And for everyone in the chat, go follow Dan. Same name, DanCanCode. They stream, so give them a follow. And thanks again, Dan. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right. I'm super behind on chat. Okay. Peter, you were saying some things and I wasn't. My brain is. You said all this cumbersome error handling, try catch wrapping is why you made ES result. So you can execute bits of code like your upload or your Mongo update with the result.try, upload, and if it throws it, you can check if result error. Wait. Okay. Then handle the error because, like D-Rocks mentioned, at the moment the try catches on both Cloud Upload and Mongo Update. So now you need to differentiate the error type in the catch blocks or have separate try catch blocks. Ah, okay. I was not catching what that meant. An object that has many properties to help determine the issue. What does it mean to be type safe, Peter? Let's open this up. Tiny zero dependency TypeScript first result error utility. Oh, wow. Ooh. Okay, let me. Dom, you say a lot these days. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely inconvenience. Successfully corrupted. We need to watch one of those. I haven't watched. We need to watch the Dune one again. That one is so funny. Oh my god. It's so funny. Time to push it to Git. Oh, you were right. Okay, right now. We're pushing it to Git because we don't want it to get lost. Alright. Done been saved. And then we're going to say git status, git add, git commit. Now, what do we put in our commit message? To be type safe, you're referring to TypeScript where your catch block E error can be anything. Ah. The README explains it all. But what if you have there's still a ghost in a machine? You have full access. Lol. Oh no. We've been punked, y'all. So in Paiute, I've said this before, if you think there's if you hear a sound or something and you think there's a ghost, you say which means there's a ghost. So okay, should I leave that though? Cause I could. Lol. I'm leaving it. It's history now, but that means I have to go back. Git status. Git add all. Git commit. Okay, so really long, we fixed the update request. But I feel like it should be more descriptive than that. But maybe I should say fix update request, and then in GitHub, then when you have an additional comment, we can say everything. Should I do that? Also, I should turn on music now that I'm not listening to Dan. I think yes. Complete update request. Complete. Fix update. Okay. Fix update request. Very descriptive. Git push. now we're gonna go to that and we're gonna look at it. Hey, Warriors, thanks for the follow. Also, Mickey and Linda, thank you for the follows. I was very distracted when you followed, so. Okay, so here it is. We just did this 26 seconds ago, and we are going to give more detail down here. We're going to say we reorganized the previous update request. Oh, I left this too. Yay. Oh, we left all of this. Yes. Hell yeah. Then we... Oh, it's too big. Then we... Okay, I gotta have 2 pages open for this. Then we... We reordered the update request to make it so if audio was undefined, only update Mongo. Then we said if audio was defined, to add it to the database. And then finally we added an else if where we address if the MIME type is not include accepted. Yes, yeah, I am. We just did a really exciting thing where we fixed a thing that I've been stuck on for several months. Thank you, Dan. Oh, I can't go too crazy because my mic will shut me off. Red Life said, "Is Angular easy to learn? You're studying Java and you're accepted to an internship where they use a lot of it, but also Angular. Do you think you can learn it this summer?" I don't know Angular. Does anyone know Angular here that could talk about that? I would say probably if I think you could learn anything slowly, but like especially if you're using it a lot, probably you'd learn it. I think you got it. Also, congrats on the internship. We also... Yep, that's basically what we did. Okay. Mike don't like being hyped? Nah, it doesn't. I like, we got something like a week ago, and I was like, you know, like screaming on mic, and then I watched it later, and it was just like, it just like cut my sound off completely, and I was like, okay, thank you for that. All right, what else did I miss? Okay, I think I'm caught up. What am I doing? Dark Synergy. Dan and I just fixed it. We fixed the update request in the online talking dictionary. And now I was just updating it and checking on chat because I was super behind and feeling very happy. You only think you're caught up. Dom, do not take my moment away. This is a big moment. Do I have a boyfriend? Nah. But I did have a dream about a parrot. That was 3 different types of parrots. Please. Also, in regards to Leon's internship, who was telling me? Christian? So tell me more about it. What does that look like? What is, like, who's like implementing it, etc., etc. 4:30 a.m. Dark Synergy, go to bed. Love having you here. Go to bed. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Parrots are great boyfriends. You know what? I'm not biased, but like, absolutely. Good night, Dark Synergy. Is the accent coming back? Only if someone redeems it. I don't know if anyone should redeem it at this point, since I don't know. I feel like we're almost at the end of stream. Unless y'all have something else you want to see. We did basically what we wanted to do. So. But it's summerish kind of where I am, and so it's light outside, so I don't feel like it's very late, but it's 7. What? Yes. Dom. You brilliant soul. Yes. It's so funny. Oh god, it's so funny. I'm so excited. No one thinks this is as funny as I do. What's unlock VIP? I mean, I don't really know why people care about VIP or what it does, but if you want to be a VIP, you can unlock it, I guess. I'm not sure what I'll do when I run out of them, but that's something that happens later. No way you're redeeming. You're so close to a postcard. I drew a new one yesterday. It was a gorilla. I don't love it, but like, I did draw it. So. Alright. I'm so excited.
You don't know how to swim.
Yes, I do.
No. No, you don't.
Look, yesterday was the 3rd time.
Oh, what just happened?
I don't know.
I think that was your bone.
See, like right here.
Oh, well, no, that's more like rope.
You're the butt crack of your whole family.
Good morning. I say good morning.
So,
You want more chips?
that's way cool, William.
I know you're not talking to William the Button.
Why, he's so brilliant.
Drink your hormones.
Does it for you, William. Roaches, and I'm having to kill them with my own bare feet. Ew. Okay, see the building with the sort of... Now, you know what? I can see you can't tell where I'm pointing. How will I ever explain human stuff to you? You never get it.
It's okay that you can't point straight.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's wonderful. What is this cheese?
So why are you wearing this?
I wanted something that just wasn't too fancy and weird.
Well, I think it's pretty. Pretty dangly.
Yeah, that's freaking gross.
But there is something cool about doing that, so... Yep. Yes. Yes. I don't know why everybody's stuck. One last time.
I'm gonna go.
Look, I've grown up. Hug me.
Hey, I gotta confess something. I lived with a squirrel in Korea.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, you can rent a tuba.
Why rent when I can own?
Let's stand up.
Someday I'm gonna let a naughty bird get into your van again. This will cause it to stink.
And then you'll clean up in there.
Hey, y'all messing with my pumpkins?
I am embarrassed to say your name. Duncan, Idaho.
Not supposed to actually say it. You ever had lung pie?
What is that?
You don't know?
My sternum.
That's lung pie. Some days you can't see your feet.
But they're there. God, whatever. I don't want to talk to you at all about Dad.
Is he dating Brenda?
I don't know.
Everyone told me about that girl. She has creature features. He go to her party?
Boy, it was her birthday.
Yeah. Don't forget about your fruit. I'll put the Apple Jacks all over it.
Sorry about your feelings.
Appreciate that, Peanut.
They have been quarreling.
I'm feeling sexy, my love.
This is one of my lines.
And that's about it.
True though.
I want to meet you. In Costa Rica. Maybe we'll lay on each other. Pee-pee to pee-pee.
You're what heaven drips. You're what heaven drips.
I can see it. The glow you have in you.
Roll it up.
Roll it up.
'Cause you're what heaven drips. You're what heaven drips.
Oh my god. Oh, so funny to me. It is really gross. 3:38. Watch him and spit instead of sleeping. Thank you, internet. Go to bed. Love having you here. Go to bed. Take care of yourself. They normally do make videos or music videos or whatever, just so that people will watch it more, I think. But I mean, I think I like the sorry about your feelings. I appreciate that, pumpkin. Or whatever she says. I think that's so funny. Like, and relatable. That's the type of thing you quote to someone who's like feeling sad, you know? Or like the William part. Like, drink your hormones. Those are for you, William. Sometimes you can't see your feet, but they're there. Inspirational. Oh my god. Like, this is like, I don't know if I've ever laughed at anything else in like a couple years. I can't say words right. This is the funniest thing I've watched in years. That's what I'm trying to say. I've watched it at least 4 times, so. Whoops. Only 4 times? You know what? I watched it once. I showed it to my family, and then they thought the squirrel in Korea part was the funniest, and it, like, that is funny, but it's not the funniest, okay? Anyway, and then I watched it once by myself, and then actually probably 5 times, and I showed it on stream once, and then we just watched it again. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know. So 6? Math is hard, Dom. I don't know how many I said. Okay. Working with people is amazing. You just made a DC versus Marvel class. Wait, what are y'all doing today? Or, like, you're doing project or something, right? You like the roast bit the most? Roaches and I have to squish them with my feet. Like, relatable, though. Like, I would be doing that too. I'd be like, oh, motherfucker, ew! You know, like, I can't. With roaches, I just can't. I can't do it. Bed rat. I got work. OOP, but like, what are you doing with OOP? Milk, are you still here? extending classes. You know, the stuff you're doing right now is stuff I never really understood, so props to you. I kind of like, I think I just kind of noped out at that point. I was just like, you know what? Don't know what's fucking happening, but I guess I'm gonna half-ass the rest of this. I couldn't tell you what the pillars are even now. Probably should just watch your classes, honestly. Or like, we have our website and the hamburger menu, and I don't even know how to do that. Like, I am just barely understanding. I joke, I kid you not. I'm just barely understanding what DOM manipulation means. People just kept saying it. I was like, that's cool, but what does it mean? I understand now. Oh, an Adland. It's only so long you can do this, though. Dom, what? I hate to break it to you, Dom, but everyone's been manipulating you frequently. And they act like it's something to be proud of. So, I don't know what's up with people. People just fucked up. Sorry, Dom. You were just a pawn in this game. It wasn't about you, Dom, ever. You were just a casualty, you know? Y'all ever think about, like, movies where, you know, you're following the person who, like, runs and doesn't get shot down? What about the people that do? Obviously, you can't follow their story very continuously for that long because they die. But, like, what if you did? You know, that would be cool, I think. Every time someone talks about the Dom, you have to remember they're talking about something else. Every time someone says roof, I'm like, yes. And then they're not talking about me. It's very confusing. And then a friend of mine named their daughter Ruth, which is my name. And they were like, I was hanging out with him, and they're like, Ruthie. And I was like, yes. Because no one is named Ruth or Ruthie. And they weren't talking to me, and they did like a ton of times because they're talking to their child, obviously, right? And I was just like, yeah, oh my god, okay. They're not talking about me. Anyway. It would be a short story, but I don't know. I feel like we need to talk about those people. They had a brief story, at least. Maybe follow a bunch of the brief stories. Or, I don't know. Obviously, it's not very, like, it wouldn't be an easy thing to do. So, like, I understand, but still. So, y'all want me to upload videos to YouTube, right? Did I understand that correctly? Bull! We did it! We got it solved! Oh, it's very exciting to me. But yes, we did. Our update request works! Thank you. I'm gonna shout them out again, but like, it was because of DanCanCode. They worked through it with me because, I don't know, like, I think we can all do coding stuff, but I think having like a lack of experience just means like you don't like get some things, and I feel like that's me, so. Okay, Dom, will do. Do I like edit them, or do I just put them up? I don't know. Wait, what? You heard your name. We're gossiping about you, Dan. We're saying, Dan. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some gossip. The only gossip I can think of is, Dan, I saw him befriending a llama. Can you believe it? Goats only. Pair programming is awesome. You have to do it with a senior engineer and you feel like a puppy. Pair programming is awesome. Highly recommend it. He lives up to his name. He can code. We certainly saw that today. You're looking at GitHub first problems today, and you feel like, what is the problem again? You don't understand the problem. I feel that. Wait, what problems were these, though? But I feel that. Thanks, Dan. Understanding some things is part of the process. Keep going, it'll make sense. Then you find new stuff that doesn't make sense. Repeat. I'm just one of those people that I'm like, I want to know, and I want to know right now, you know? So it's definitely been an exercise in patience, especially since I don't feel like I'm one of those people that just like gets coding. You know? I wasn't one of those people that was like, yes, so I started coding when I was 2 and I made a startup when I was 14. You know, like, but I don't feel like I have to be either, so. Thanks, Bull. Learn something new every day. It's just like you don't know anything. And then you come on here and then you seem like you know a lot. Instant gratification. It's your knowledge and you want it now. Damn it! You'll be stronger fundamentals and probably will know how to hack at a proper website, but the learning never stops. Thirsty. You started a startup when you were 2 and learned coding at 14. You hacked the system. Hope they got parental permission for their startup. They didn't need to. They were a cool tech bro. Tech kid. Tech teen. Oh my god, my nephew made a little Scratch game, and it's legitimately hard to play. Ooh, and you want to know what else? We've been doing a lot of ESLint configuration, flight control, what? Configuration and updating old ass dependencies to make it work with Vercel. Those are a lot of words that I know what they mean. Determination and persistence will take you a lot further than anything else. The idea you have to be good at something before you start or have experience is more harmful than helpful. True. Or that you ever need to be good at something, you know? Like, say someone like wants to sing better, but they can't sing well. So the answer isn't to not sing, it's to sing till you get better. But like, it's okay if you sing poorly, you know? Do we have time for postcards? Like, do you want to look at them or what? Well, I have a project on 54 roses. Nike, 2, so. You want to redeem points? So you want to, do you have enough for the postcard? Hell yeah. Sure. We have time. Alright, let me go get the one I just drew yesterday. I'll be right back. Just so that you can have all of the ones at your disposal. BRB. All right. Are you ready? I'm excited that you're excited. Makes me feel excited. I'm gonna turn the light off because it's gonna reflect off the cards. Okay, so we have this shoes. Whatever this is. This duck. I don't love that duck. I kind of hate that duck, actually. These cockroaches. I hate cockroaches so much. This finger trap from Adam's Family. This soap that I also hate. I hate this soap. Hood intruder, it's 5 a.m. You got school in 3 hours and didn't do your schoolwork? Get enough sleep. I think sleep is more important than homework. There's this one. Or I guess it could be this direction. Whatever direction you like. This... I don't remember what you call those. Telescopes? These roses. I think you could also do this direction, whatever direction you want. Selling Cribdis. Secret elephant and pansies. Tiger. I also feel very conflicted about this tiger. Coral. An ant. This place in Utah called Yant Flat. I also think I kind of ruined it by filling it in, but you know, it's fine. Poppies. Music. A skull. And then this one I made yesterday. I don't love it either, but like it's fine. It's a gorilla. So which one do you want? Are there any you want to see again? I don't have a kitty one. I could make one. I thought about making a cat one, but then I was like, what if I made a gorilla? And I made a gorilla, so. Yes, I did make all those. I'm glad to hear. I don't love the gorilla. I just feel like I reject society, return to gorilla. Like I feel like there's too much happening here, and I didn't fill in the background, and I don't know. But I got this off of a picture where it was eating some plants, and you can't see the plants either, and I just don't know. There we go. Thank you. You like the roses one? Is that the one you want? Find it. This one? Okay. Which direction do you want it oriented? This way? Or this way? And I'll write on the back accordingly. Physical NFTs? Surprise you? Okay, will do. I will send that out very soon. I do like this one a lot, actually. I think there's a lot of detail happening there. Lots of little dots. Fill the background with bananas, but then you won't be able to see the gorilla.
Wow, 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 wow.
Thank you, thank you. I don't know what one I should make next. Maybe I should make a redemption where you pick what I draw. Also, I'm going to see my Paiute grandma on Monday. She's the lady that I recorded for several years, and it's her voice in the online talking dictionary, speaking Southern Paiute. She's not actually my grandma, but she basically is. Y'all have any questions you want me to ask her when I'm seeing her? About, like, the language or whatever? If not, that's fine. I just thought I'd give you the opportunity. Also, I didn't drink. Ugh, where's my water? And it. Oh, drank. Minute. Drank. Drank. I don't know any of the words, but I know the song. Also, you know the song that goes, I want to do shots with somebody. I always thought that should be like a gym song. And you say, I want to do squats with somebody. And then as you're doing this, you squat. You say, squat, squat, squat. I don't know. I always thought that would be pretty bomb. You're almost at 5k points, which is almost at 6k points, which is almost at 7k points, which is almost at 8k points, which is almost at 9k points, which is almost at 10k points. You're basically all the way to the card. You don't have enough background info for questions about the language. You'd be interested in knowing some life stories, like the biggest change they've seen in their lifetime, or if they had a partner, how they met. You think meeting stories are very interesting because life is so random. I actually could tell you that story now. I know how she and her husband met. He just barely died last year. It's been really rough on her. But they met at a bear dance. So, like a Native American dance, and it had special dances. And she said that she saw him across the fire. She was like 15. And I think she went up to him or something, or he went up to her, and then they wrote for like a couple weeks, and then he wrote, you want to marry me or whatever? And she's like, yeah. And then she traveled by car to him, and they got married at like 15. So different times. I don't know how people get married that young. I'm like 24 and I'm just like, nah. Yeah. It's really sad too though, because he died, and like you can tell it's hit her really hard. And also he spoke Goshoot. He's one of the few speakers of Goshoot, which is also an endangered language, and he died. I never worked on that language, so. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out. Sleep well. Writing letters is such a lost art. I like to do it with my friends. I don't know why. Oh, Grat, send me a whisper with your mailing information so I can send it to you. The postcard, that is. Alright, well. Should we wrap up stream, or do y'all have anything else you want to ask me? Again, we don't have stream on Monday because I'll be visiting my Paiute grandma. And we may have stream on Sunday night, our video game stream, but also maybe not because I get home from canyoneering at some point in the night, and I'm not sure when that is, so. But Thursday, we absolutely will have another stream. So. Ow. Should you choose a moose as your spirit animal? Yes. You know, a moose would be a really bomb thing to draw. My sister really got into, we watched Brother Bear growing up, and she got into assigning us all totems very arbitrarily. So my totem is apparently the hippo of skinniness, which doesn't make any sense, but there you go. So there's my spirit animal, the hippo of skinniness, and my sister's the moose of beauty. So And my brother is the mosquito of love. Because he's very affectionate or something, I don't know. Right? I can't remember what the rest of them were. My nephew, his was a tadpole of strength because he was in utero when that was coined, and he kicked my sister, I guess. I don't know. Yes, but sometimes love is annoying, or if people want to like hug you, it's very irritating. Granted, I just hate physical touch, so I may be like a little bit biased. My brother's a clinger. He used to be. He's never been with me, but like he actually hugs my mom. Isn't that weird? I never. He's definitely the one that's weird in this situation, so definitely not me. I literally sleep like a stick. Like my hands, my legs like right along my body, and it freaks people out. That's how much I dislike touching. I don't even have anyone else in the bed, but like in case I did, you know? Maybe HugCon isn't the best event to go to. Well, can I resell my ticket? You know, love languages or whatever? My top love language is quality time, so thanks all for spending quality time with me. I feel loved, but actually I do. And it's like number 8 or 9. Physical touch for me is literally a 0. Like a 0. Not even like a 1 or whatever. 0. So. Alright. Let's see who we should raid. Your top language is Korean barbecue? Hell yeah. It's good to know your love language, Dan? Or what do you mean? Your love language is JavaScript. You know you're a nerd when I jest. That's okay. We accept all the loves. Alright. Who should be raid? If someone does not like physical touch, that way you don't accidentally put them in an uncomfortable situation. I can see that, yeah. Except I feel like oftentimes like the societally accepted touch I've become accustomed to. Like if someone wants a hug, okay. If someone wants to shake hands, whatever, it's fine. But you're right. I don't feel like I was ever really taught like consent growing up, and I feel like that's something that like is becoming more, people are becoming more aware of in popular culture, and I think that's really great, and I feel like I need to learn more about it. Like the fact that I could have said no to random people hugging me through my whole life never occurred to me. Never occurred to me. Anyone have anyone they particularly want to raid? I'll pick someone random. We could raid Finite, but Finite has a lot of people right now, and I kind of want to give some viewers to people who don't have many people. Hags are not your thing? Feel it, Texas. I feel it. You and I can thumbs up at each other when we meet. Now you can program a cool digital sign with LEDs and Raspberry Pi that says, "No hugs!" and "Go away!" and "You bring it on!" and "You better drop in line!" I need to go in there. I need to go. I'll get loud. I'm a birdie-o. Didn't know I had that much of that video memorized. COVID has been helpful in that respect. That's true. I realized though, I miss seeing people. Just like, you know, not people I know necessarily, just like seeing people in general. Okay, what if we raid SWLKR? Swooker? How do you say that? Alright, thank you all for hanging out with me, whether it was when we were making a website or when we freaking solved our update issue problem. It's very exciting. I'm still very excited about it. Thank you again, Dan. Hopefully I'll see you next stream. Maybe Sunday. Definitely will be Thursday. And I hope you all have a good night, a good day, whatever it was for you. I appreciate you. And thanks. Thank you all. Thank you, Dan. And let's go raid Swooker.